Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94 here, back with another reaction video. Today, we finna react to Vengeance 2002 was amazing. I do remember this. This was the triple threat between Rock, Undertaker, and Kurt Angle. Very good match. Very good match. Also remember RVD versus Brock Lesnar. That was a really good. That was probably their best match by far. And then Jeff Hardy versus William Regal. I remember Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit taking on Hulk Hogan, bitch ass. No. They took on Spike Dudley and Bubba Ray Dudley. My bad. I forgot. I know Hulk Hogan was in the match. I know his bitch ass was in the match. Fuck that nigga. Fuck Hulk Hogan. That nigga resting shit. I don't care what y'all say. Fuck Hulk Hogan. Fuck it, Hulk Hogan. Fuck that nigga. I don't care what y'all say. That nigga racist. I don't care. You're racist.
That's racist. That's racist. That's racist.
You didn't say that. Tell me you did not just say that.
Yeah, fuck Hulk Hogan, nigga. Fuck Hulk Hogan, nigga. All y'all Hulk Hogan niggas that's gonna come up in my chat, gonna come up in my comments, say talk about you need to stop disrespecting Hulk Hogan. You need to stop disrespecting Hulk Hogan. He's a legend. He's a legend. You need to stop. It's not right, man. I just got one thing to say to you.
Fuck your homie dead. Fuck your homie dead. Most of their ass got hit in the head. Fuck your homie dead. Fuck your homie dead. Fuck your homie dead. Most of their ass got hit in the head.
But anyways, though, without further ado, let's get right into this.
What is up, guys? Wrestling Premiere is here. The brand split was in full effect, and in turn, this led to a strong transitional period for the WWE in 2002. It's a very fascinating time period because all the pieces were slowly coming together, but nobody realized it at the time. It was just departures and uncertainty. The Stone Cold problem was massive because it seemed as if WWE underrated its value, and at this point, he was clearly deteriorating and breaking down, but at worst, he was still one of the top wrestlers, and based on popularity, a clear number 2. The brand split was very foreign to the WWE at the time, so you saw plenty of changes and rules abandoned quickly. You know, you see one moment, Eddie Guerrero's on Raw, the next moment he's on SmackDown.
Oh, yeah, I think John Cena was on here. He faced Chris Jericho.
Shaping the brand split because right after the show, you saw the brand split that everyone remembers. Now, this show was spearheaded by a strong triple threat main event featuring 3 of the WWE's best. You can't help but wonder if Stone Cold would have been involved in this match, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was facing Chris Benoit. Regardless of Austin's status, the show must go on, and in WWE's case, this was shaping to be a better card than King of the Ring. But you couldn't pay me to watch that show. That show is absolutely horrible. Alright, that's a lie. I almost did it last month, but enough of the talk. Vengeance 2002, Detroit, Michigan, July 21st, 2002. Let's go. The strange thing about the show is that the Raw and SmackDown commentary split their time, not with each other's brand match, but full-on SmackDown first half and Raw with the second half of the show. This, of course, allowed for Taz and Michael Cole to shine more, also giving SmackDown more of a presence, because in the past, it wasn't exactly like that. It was just the Raw commentary team. The first match in the show is a tag team tables match. Bubba Ray Dudley and Spike faced Chris Benoit and Eddie Guerrero. Is it a 2002 pay-per-view without a tables match? This was during Bubba's singles run, which went about as well as my other YouTube channel. Chris Benoit was respected. He had an almost positive reaction upon his entrance despite being a heel.
You didn't say nothing about Chris Benoit. He's a murderer. What more can I say? He resting shit too, but still though.
Bruh.
And this Chris Benoit guy was already crazy. He just throws you into the deep end with him with all this intensity. Like, imagine being a rookie and having to wrestle this guy. The rookie will do the PR, I consider it a blessing, while nursing a black guy and bruises. Like, this guy's very intense. Yeah, the match is very aggressive, and all that smoke and haze brings a great atmosphere coupled with all of that. Eddie wasn't far off in intensity here. No use of tables here, and it was more of a regular match initially. Bubba was getting his ass kicked so badly, and I was thinking that 64 overall Spike was gonna make the save. Might as well throw in the towel. Bubba was taking a lot of punishment from both at the same time. Spike had to take a huge risk to open things up, and what followed was one of my favorite spots, you know, the tease. Are they gonna go through the table? Nope. Spike took advantage, the crowd's getting a bit excited, he's saved by Bubba from the table, and at this point these guys almost did nothing. Spike had to do some schoolboy nonsense to open things up, which leads to them finally taking the advantage. The Dudleys finally took control and brought the tables. This backfired, but it didn't count.
Damn.
Spike does Spike things and then surprisingly eliminates Eddie Guerrero from the match. He doesn't last though, and of course he's the one to take the brutal
RP
spot.
Eddie,
Watching his spot, I'm surprised he doesn't have CTE premium. Bubba was almost out of it, but figured out a way to drop Benoit through the table. And that was it. Oh man, imagine a splinter up your ass, but it could have happened to a nicer guy. Hypothetically, because the splinter probably didn't land on him. Very good. It ain't Survivor Series 2002, that's for sure, but it passes by, enjoyable watch, and it was centered around the disadvantage that Bubba had, because at the end of the day, Spike...
Yeah, I remember this being a fun match. Just a fun match. Nothing too major. Just a good way to start off the show. This was WWE's formula back then. Get the Extreme Rules type of match show out the way first to get the crowd hype, and then let's get to it. Let's get busy.
Spike is a jobber. So you see the match centered around him trying to find an opening. You know, and obviously when Spike does his little nonsense, his little kid games, it finally works out well, but for the first half, they were just taking a beating. Other than that, the crowd was very excited, very into it. I was into it as well, and there's nothing wrong with it. It was a perfectly fine opener. Eric Bischoff was scrambling to figure out how to sign Triple H, and at this point, Bischoff was a fresh new face in the WWE.
That's where Triple H signed the Raw, and we all thought we was getting D-Generation X back, and then the very next week, let's get ready to and then he hit him with the fucking pedigree. Which started in my personal opinion, started one of the best feuds of the 2000s, bro. Of the early 2000s, Shawn Michaels and Triple H was arguably the best feud. They put on 5-star matches, bro.
Him as general manager was absolutely incredible, and I'm not saying entirely it's a stroke of genius. It's an obvious decision to make, but it's a great one that actually enhanced Raw, I'd say. Jamie Noble defended the Cruiserweight Championship against Billy Kidman. This was when the Cruiserweight title actually had presence on pay-per-views. I can't really count the amount of non-brand split shows the title was featured, but it wasn't much after this. Billy Kidman came out to some music you'd hear on Jackass after they throw a lawn dart in their ass or something. And there's some super fast action here with Noble being overwhelmed, but as always, he found some dirty tactic to evade the attack. He strongly targeted the arm of Kidman, who was wrestling at a significant disadvantage. He was persistent, and at this point, Noble was focused. We gotta pull that arm out of its socket, idiot! But this didn't last too long. While there was damage done, Billy Kidman still pulled through. But as always, all you needed is one strike to that arm. Kidman responded with this huge powerbomb off the top rope. He missed the shooting star, his stupid shooting star at that. I still hate it. And Noble evades an attack and hits the Tiger Bomb for the victory. Good match. I enjoyed it a lot and thought that if WWE was lacking something during this time, it was variety in their matches.
I remember this match.
With Cruiserweights, they offer something entirely different and distinctive to everything on the show, so it's always a good addition. I still think their Survivor Series match is better, but these Cruiserweights always make the most out of their time, and the best was yet to come with Rey Mysterio. Kurt Angle's acting like a dork, he's just bald now, and they teased a huge clash between Angle and Lesnar. This was their money match, and one that was a perfect match, seeing as both guys had great storied histories as amateur wrestlers. Angle hates pompous people, I guess. Jeff Hardy defends the European Championship against William Regal. Regal to me is very synonymous with the Euro title, so seeing him without it here during this time is strange. Jeff Hardy, on the other hand, had his momentum relaunched, but only for a short time. He unfortunately had a free trial because, you know, he had some issues outside the ring, and I figured that Hardy would have been an important fixture of Raw in 2003 if he never had his problems, but that's like saying tomorrow's Friday. This match was moving different, with Hardy catching Regal off guard with his unorthodox offense, whereas Regal was everything orthodox. The champion's unique offense sometimes worked, sometimes didn't. He still managed to hit the Swanton, but was unsuccessful. Regal was zeroing in on a win when from out of nowhere, Hardy rolled him up to retain the title. Decent, quick little match, and it's fascinating just how different William Regal is to Jeff Hardy. It's not a matter of Brock versus Jeff, because that's expected, but you have here this super methodical wrestler of the old school against this caution to the wind talent who doesn't know what his next move is. Also, Hardy as an in-ring talent is significantly underrated by some, and at this point he was improving rapidly. I actually believe that Hardy needs more respect as it relates to his in-ring skills, because people are like, oh, he just dives, he does this, but you know.
Nah, around this time, the 2001, 2002, Jeff Hardy, yeah, he was definitely, his moveset was very diverse around this time. He was adding moves on top of moves. He was very unorthodox, but he was adding moves to his repertoire. Now, his second WWE run, which ended with him winning the World Championships, Yeah, he sort of found his groove and just stayed there.
More than that. 2002 WWE really was strange. We had Hulk Hogan endorsing Jeff Hardy, and it was clear at this point that the sky really was the limit for him. Chris Jericho faces John Cena. Yeah, you hear that and think it's a title match, but it's just some rookie wearing colorful trunks. Oh, I'm in Detroit, I wear Red Wings. Los Angeles, purple and gold. So basically, he's telling us that he's just a bandwagon. But the appeal of John Cena in 2002 is his explosive babyface offense and a possible upside. He was likened to Surfer Sting. Jericho's plan of using a chair backfired badly.
I'll say this too about John Cena. When he was before the rap gimmick, he's just basic bland John Cena. He had a decent moveset. He just got rid of. I understand it though. Over time, you figure out the moves that work for you, and then you just stick with them. But here, he had a good repertoire of moves.
Cena's answering everything and acting very over the top, with his reactions. It's kind of goofy. It's funny seeing John Cena here because he was wrestling with a lot of speed and pace, hitting moves like drop kicks and all that, which is something he quickly abandoned. Jericho greatly underestimated him, but now he was slowing down the pace and putting in the work. Cena tried getting back in, but took a dangerous drop kick midair. Great sequence leading to a belly-to-belly for a near fall. Jericho was starting to lose his temper and he was starting to wrestle with emotion. He tried the walls but got rolled up and Cena stole the win. Hey, this happens to me all the time in FIFA, but this is a nice match to go back to. John Cena wrestled significantly different. It was very fast, hit moves like the drop kick and the stinger splash, and his offense was very 90s babyface-like, and while it's somewhat generic, it was a nice base to start with. If you could do the fundamentals well, you could move on from there. It's also cool to see the crowd actually care about him with Jericho's great heel work. They obviously had to work for it, but the crowd understood and actually cared about hating Jericho and liking Cena. Sure, a part of that is because they hate Jericho so much they would support John Cena's opponent, but it made the match more engaging. On top of that, the chin beard was such a great decision from Y2J because it made him look more annoying, and as it grew and he had the King of My World theme for a short time, he was pretty cool. He was an instrumental part of John Cena's early days in WWE, and he really helped him get to the limelight. But ultimately, the John Cena experiment quickly got old, and he had to find luck on a bus to save his career. The King and JR are here, so it's the second half of Vengeance. Rob Van Dam defends the Intercontinental Championship against Brock Lesnar. These two have great chemistry. I just want to say that now because I don't often
this was by far their best match, by far.
Hear about them as a perfect match. In another world, they would have faced off for the WWE Championship, but it's too ideal. Why is their match style so fun to watch? Because it's unpredictable and you see a great level of athleticism from RVD in contrast to the monstrous strength of Brock Lesnar with an added element of great selling from both men. Brock sold like a madman in his early WWE days and still sells well to this day. RVD would do some trickery to find an opening and more often than not would open up the match with a single mule kick. Brock was the winner of King of the Ring, yet challenging for the IC title, and to this day, this is his only non-world title match. I do kind of wish this image was official, but there's a special allure about going straight to the World Championship. Great action early on with Brock nearly hitting an F5 but connecting with a fireman's carry. RVD quickly proved that he was capable of facing the Beast, and what made RVD so complicated for Brock to deal with was solely his offensive style. In storyline, it's one thing to strategize, but RVD has 7 variants of 7 different moves. He made Brock look like an idiot, but he finally caught him. Hey, when you file for bankruptcy and avoid paying employees, huh? Or independent contractors. Brock's intensity and full-on power proved to be a tough key for Rob Van Dam to open. Lesnar was super dangerous in his element, and the action was just Brock going after the lower back with RVD in agony. He struggled but opened things up with a big missile kick to the jaw. Brock was failing to connect with anything, leading to an F5 which RVD countered, and he hit the 5-star and Heyman pulled the ref out of the ring, leading to a DQ. Then we had the ref beating up Heyman like a 5-year-old. Seriously, like, he ain't punching him so well. Lesnar saved the day with a tornado toss, and it's Charles Robinson.
Lesnar beat the fuck out the ref.
Before you know him, RVD hits a wheelbarrow. More drama with Heyman saving the day, and Brock drops RVD with an F5 on the chair. Okay, this was a good match on its way to being great. What I liked so much about it was how good both men were presented. You fully got RVD and Brock with this one. Like, if it was the first time you ever watched these two, you understood what they were with this singular match. It was a significant contrast to styles here. RVD was selling a lot, Brock sold great, but it felt like a match that, for as good as it was only the beginning of a potentially long history between these two. RVD was protected here with a near win on Brock and the DQ, of course, something that not a single wrestler had up until November. Nobody had Brock down like RVD did here, and it's interesting to see RVD here because it felt like only a matter of time before he became champion, but once the Triple H feud happened, that faded. Eric Bischoff accidentally shot himself thinking Triple H signed, but he signed his divorce papers, so everything was awkward. But even then, he was still convinced he could get him. Big Show faces Booker T in a no disqualification match. This is a feud that stems from the NWO. Booker T greatly benefited from being kicked out, and for Big Show, well, it got him off of Sunday Night Heat. I'm wearing headphones, and man, the ring is making some bouncy sound. I don't know what was up with it. Booker was going all out, but it wasn't working well for him. He had to use great timing and weapons to find his opening. He had a scissors kick through the table. Booker really was a talent. I'm watching this and I'm like, damn, this guy really was that damn good. Triple H might be offended. Even then, Big Show was still standing. He was broken and destroyed, but Booker still had him on the ropes. Low blow, a scissors kick, and the Houston hangover, and that was enough for the win. Very short match, demolition of the Big Show, and one that served Booker T very well. There was plenty of upside for him. The fans cared for him, and that would only grow. Also, the Houston hangover is still one of the coolest moves. For a man of Booker T's size, it's incredible to see him soar forward with a great front flip. And I know people are like, Booker and RVD weren't up to be #1 or something, but they didn't have a chance. With these two, one thing that people fail to understand about them is that when they become detractors and all that, they don't look at them from a certain perspective, because it's important to look at them from a summer of 2002 perspective, not the perspective of later, because in Booker's case, it's like he didn't care. And with RVD, he had some good performances, but it wasn't as fiery. He didn't have that fire in him like he did in 2002. So I think people should look at those two from the perspective of the summer of 2002 as opposed to whatever they were later on to prove their point. Man, where's Raven Simone to save Tori's future? Okay, Triple H makes his decision.
But to be fair, this was their first full initial, run with the company. So you got to show out, because you got to find your place. Because Vince already has his guys, but he may look into moving you up. So you had to show out. But I think after a while, once they realized, Vince ain't gonna never give me a chance, I guess some guys got kind of complacent. It was like, it pays good. That's all that matters. So there's that.
Game was a mainstay on SmackDown for all of 3 months, but since WWE were changing things up for the real brand split, it was a part of that change. Eric Bischoff was buttering up Triple H and talking about a potential movie career for the game. He even mentioned a potential sneaker deal for Triple H. Or buying his pay-per-views in 2003. What makes you think they're gonna buy Triple H sneakers?
Never.
Stephanie McMahon came out to an early version of her theme song, which reminds you of a song in Sonic Adventures. Stephanie tried convincing him, she used emotion, whereas Bischoff tried his best to bring out deals and a strong focus on business. They're doing this Triple H circle jerk, oh, I want to have you, you're valuable, this and that. And it seemed like the game was going with the devil he knew. Not before calling her a cold-hearted bitch. He was full of jokes. He said he could say screw you to Stephanie, but she'd like it. And Shawn Michaels decided to interrupt. HBK sold Triple H on the idea of reforming the band, and that was enough for him to sign a Raw. But the band quickly split due to creative differences, and that's just me putting out the PR statement, because the actual statement was horrifying. This marked the start of the SmackDown vs. Raw rivalry, which was strongly dominated by the dynamics of Stephanie McMahon and Eric Bischoff. He said he has balls and she doesn't, which is the difference. Well, he ended up getting slapped. Why should Rikishi care about Triple H signing to Raw? Like, why don't we ask him about young Jey Uso? Not Jimmy, of course, because he would change the subject. Booker T was all hyped for Triple H coming to Raw because he might be playing a game with him. This is because of the HBK association, who Booker despised since getting kicked out of the NWO. They didn't explore it, of course. And again, 2002 Booker T is not the same as 2004. There was novelty and excitement with him here, and it felt like he gave a damn about becoming a star. Hulk Hogan and Edge defend the WWE Tag Team Championships against the Un-Americans. I gotta be
Hulk
Hogan in 2002 did rule. It's one of the best runs of his entire career because he wasn't obsessed with changing stories and doing drama. Him and Edge is such a strange team because Canada and America, but Edge was a huge Hogan fan growing up, so it does make sense in that regard, especially because Edge hates Christian at this point in storyline. The Un-Americans was a bold faction, one that the guys in the group didn't fully integrate for obvious reasons. Storm and eventually Regal enjoyed the heat, but the crust of the team was centered around Christian and Test, so it wasn't gonna work. Hogan overwhelmed the heels here. Their only chances was to go after Edge. Edge was capable though, and before they knew it, Hogan was back in. They tried to take him out, but Hogan was Hogan. Every strike increased his overall, the boot, and there's a leg drop. Not enough because of Storm. And this was a regular
for me,
tag
brother.
Nothing special about it. Like, yeah, we all know regular tag matches and all that, but it's just average. Their best bet was beating Edge, not the 50-year-old who's pretty young and energetic. The ref gets knocked down, Test shows up, and even then Edge kicks out. And Test was probably like, what the hell is this about? It's a 3. Rikishi comes out with a Jey Uso shirt, and in the ring, Edge hits the spear. Chris Jericho crashes the party and costs them the title. Normal tag match, nothing notable, but it's funny though seeing Hogan face these guys. Also, Stephanie McMahon promised to rip the heart out of Raw. Now, I know it's a black screen and it's not good for viewer retention, but who gives a damn? I'm freestyling now. The entire reason why I wanted to make this video, solely for the main event. Like, I knew Vengeance 2002 is a good event, it's a good watch, and I watched it years ago, but at the end of the day, I wanted to watch this match. And if you're wondering why I wanted to watch this match, I watched it a long time ago and felt plenty of excitement and passion for this great sport, or this great form of entertainment. I always wanted to watch it again, but I wanted to watch it while making a video about it. Like, I could have watched it any time on the WWE Vault app or Netflix or wherever the hell WWE sells their media rights to, but I wanted to watch it here and yap about it because it really is a great watch. And off my memory, keyword off my memory, this is one of the greatest triple threat matches I've ever watched, if not the best triple threat match I've ever watched. And that's a very hard thing to achieve. Triple threats are by default entertaining for the most part.
It's top five.
This one is at the top of the top would obviously mean that this match in some ways is one of the greatest matches in WWE history. Let's talk about it. And the main event, The Undertaker defends the undisputed WWE Championship against Kurt Angle and The Rock. So it's time for this match. The build to this match was pretty short and strongly focused on Angle and Undertaker, but in this day we got to see some exciting matches. The Rock, on the other hand, was back for his last full-time run before going to Hollywood. The promo for this match with Downfall by Trust Company was amazing. One of the very best promos in this era of WWE. It's like they shot me with a needle full of adrenaline, like, I want to rock bottom someone. Kurt Angle was the odd one here because while he was a clown, he was still super dangerous, and his ankle lock was the strongest maneuver in all three men's arsenal. Great reaction for all three men. Angle's trying to get acknowledged, and they did that alright. They acknowledged him with an ass whooping. One thing to mention is how intense and fast these main events during this time were. Angle finally made his mark on the match, and he was dominant, but still a clown. The Undertaker returned after a while, but the match wasn't for a single person. But then from out of nowhere, it was The Rock who was struggling. Then Rock pulled out a chokeslam which shocked the commentary team. He even used the ankle lock, to which Kurt hit The Rock bottom in response. Then Undertaker at the Angle slam. It was comedy. The Rock finally got the people's elbow, but Angle tried stealing the win. And at this point, the appeal of this match is clear. It's never dull, and if a match is never dull, by default, it's good. So from there, it could be great, it could be amazing, whatever they want it to be. There was so many memorable moments, and in addition, it really was anybody's match. Angle was stuck in between the two people you don't want to be stuck to. He struck with a brutal chair shot, then the Angle slam, and he couldn't pin them in time. At this point, any single move could end it. Undertaker hit a brutal last ride, only to find himself in the ankle lock. They teased the triangle choke again, but Rock saved him. It was insanity. Ankle lock again, a Rock bottom, Undertaker kicked out, and the near falls were scary. It was anybody's match. And then from out of nowhere, after Angle took down the straps ready to destroy someone, he's all fired up. Rock catches him with the Rock bottom. 1, 2, 3, new champion. What a match, what a match, what a match. Pure excitement. If you watched this in 2002, your eyes probably would have exploded from all this action, this total non-stop action. Ironic, right? But the appeal of this match is simple. Never a dull moment, and on top of it, you see 3 stars that the fans give a damn about in the main event. They put on a show, and I'm certain when they went to the back, everyone was clapping for them. From jobber to main eventer, everyone was clapping for them for certain. The match is...
Yeah, this was a great match, bro. A great triple threat match for sure. Like I said, it's in my top 5.
On the show were solid to decent to good, but none of them were even close to this one. The Rock became a 7-time WWE champion, or a 7-time world champion, and obviously we all know what that meant. Special stuff here. I'm very amazed by it once more. I'm glad to watch it again. You know, I highly recommend you go and watch it because they really put on a show. Back and forth, this and that, unexpected false finishes. Oh my god, like if I watched this match with no idea who was winning, I wouldn't know who was winning. Like I would say Kurt Angle randomly, but it's not something with full conviction. And that's the great thing about this match. It made you think it could be anybody's match. And a part of that is because it's Undertaker, Kurt Angle, and The Rock. So really, it's 3 of the top guys in the WWE. So of course, you're gonna think it could be anybody's match. All right, so that's Vengeance 2002. Great pay-per-view. The thing with this pay-per-view is that there's no singular match before the main event's truly great. But once you get to the main events, like you already enjoy this show, right? You enjoy, and then you see the main events, like, wow, this is one of the best matches in 2002. Vengeance 2002 brought a lot of excitement for SummerSlam for some people, of course. And I already made a SummerSlam video, so you could check it out. But this was objectively one of the better pay-per-views of 2002, and that's saying something because a lot of these pay-per-views were stacked. So yeah, all right, what do you guys think of Vengeance 2002? Please comment down below. And that's for this video. Make sure you hit the F5 on the like button, and perhaps the rock bottom on the subscribe button. Peace.
Alrighty, man. It's just gonna about do it for this one, most definitely, man. Vengeance 2002 was pretty good, man. Pretty good. I remember it. I remember it now. I remember it. Back around this time, we still had the illegal cable box, but there was like 5 channels that you had to check out. at certain times, them channels could go live, if you know what I mean, if you had the illegal cable box. So for where I was living at, it was 67, 68, 69, 81, and 88. If any of them, you would always check them channels and make sure they went live, because you never know. A boxing match might be on, WWE might be on, one of them pay-per-view movies might be on. You gotta make sure sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Gotta check at certain times, mainly around like 6 or 7 o'clock at night on a Friday or a Wednesday or on the weekend, of course. If you checked around that time, most definitely you can find you something to watch for the night. But I digress though. But anyways though, that's just gonna about do it for this one. I'll see y'all in the next video. Till then, deuces.